To thank the troll again for sending all the people my way. I appreciate it. I love getting raided. I don't know who this lack of entertainment fellow is, but he is doing God work sending you guys to me. I hope I can live up to the expectation. Don't know if I can be as entertaining as him, but I'll try. I really... My God, you know what really annoys me? People on the internet. Like, you talk about entertainment, right? Like, you say, look, I don't like this. And like, stop giving corporations your money. Stop. What the fuck do you want me to do, man? The fuck do you want me to do? Where should I get my entertainment, right? You understand that life is not just hard work and sacrifice. You need a little bit of entertainment in your life. You need to put a smile on your fucking face, because work is stressful, right? So you need to do stuff. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? You don't give corporations your money. And then you're like, you know what? Fine, I'll watch anime. You're watching anime is degenerate. Okay, you know what? I'll watch Cooties on freaking Netflix. Is that good? Is that good? Oh my God. Thank you, Super Blue. I appreciate the kind gesture. But no, like it's just bizarre, you know. Like obviously, I try not to give money to companies that hate me, right? Like, if the company outright comes out and says, like, don't buy our product, you fucking bigot, I'm like, you know, okay. But, like, other than that, like, you're going to buy something. Like for example, Square Enix, right? I don't agree with their creative choices. I don't think their censorship is okay. But I still played the Final Fantasy remake. It was good. Right? Like, I mean, what am I supposed to do? What the fuck am I supposed to play? What am I supposed to play? Play indie games. I played them. It's not, you know, like, when you think about it, I don't even spend that much money on entertainment nowadays. Like, I haven't seen a single movie this entire year. Nothing that's coming out is even remotely interesting for me. Nothing. Absolutely not. I looked at the Marvel, what was it, like Marvel Stage 4, I found it to be quite a bore, and now it's Marvel Stage 5, it's surprising that it's still alive. Like, all of these things, I have a video up for my secondary channel about Marvel Stage 5, and I'm looking at it, and not a single goddamn movie is attracting me, so I don't watch movies, okay, just so you can understand, I don't watch them. TV shows, I mean, I guess I watch Better Call Saul. That's kind of good. But that's literally it. Like, that's it. I'm watching Stargate again with my wife, right? Because, like, there's nothing else. Video games. There's no video games. I play League of Legends. There's, like, there used to be at least 30 to 40 video games coming out every year when I was a kid. I didn't have money to buy them. Oh yeah, the Orville is good. Yeah, I forgot about the Orville, but it's about to end, right? I mean, the Orville's got like, what, like 2, 3 more... No, sorry, 1 more episode. Yeah, so there's like 1 more episode of the Orville, and I think it's like 2 more episodes of Better Call Saul, and then that's it. Like, all TV shows, just dead. Just nothing. My God, I remember when I was a kid, okay, I would wake up on Friday, I had Stargate, SG-1, I had Stargate, Atlantis, I had Battlestar Galactica, I had Prison Break, I had Supernatural, and it was good in the first seasons, by the way. Like, I had like 5 to 6 shows that I was expecting, and they were all good. They were all freaking good. Like, now what do you have? Like, what exactly are you supposed to watch now? Just absolutely nothing. Nothing. Like, the only thing is anime, and then you have right-wingers going like, oh my God, that's the just. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. You know, like, don't talk to me unless you have some fucking solutions. God. All of them are coming from one channel, by the way. I noticed that. I'm not going to name which one of my YouTube colleagues is telling people that anime is degenerate, but you guys know probably. Yeah, the guy talking about the virtues with a big fat cigar in his mouth. Encouraging people to smoke. Lecturing others about virtues. Anyway, right. Let's not start YouTube drama with other colleagues, because it's not productive. Yeah, like it's like all of us are crabs in a bucket. Anyway, let me see. Where am I? Oh, the article. No, not Jimmy Savile. Jesus, I don't even know who Jimmy Savile is. Moralist bundle, yes. You know, I really dislike people that moralize about others. Like, what you need to do is, like, listen to me. What you have to do is, like, shut the fuck up. I'm a grown-ass man. You're not my mommy. You're not my daddy. I know what I need to do, okay? And by the way, like, the worst type of people are the people with no self-control. Like, there are some people that, like, for example, I was always wondering, like, who are the people that want to ban porn? Right? Because they're like, oh, it's so harmful. And it's like, motherfucker, if it's so harmful, why do you watch it? Because I can't stop. And I'm like, okay, so if you can't stop, like, do you want the government to ban it for everyone because you have a problem? Like, there are people who watch porn responsibly. I'm just saying, you know, it's just an example out of the top of my fucking head. And usually, you know, like, the thing with banning porn is it doesn't stop at porn. Like, that is just the foot in the door. It normalizes censorship. That's what it fucking does. That's why I can't support it. It's not that I need to watch it. And even if it was bad, like, honestly, if they were to ban porn, I would actually make money out of it. Like, I would just go with the USB on the streets and it's like, hey, do you want some porn? Oh, $10. $10 the USB. Like, I would actually make money out of it. Like, if they banned it. But the main problem is, it's not about the thing. It's like, it's just a foot in the door to normalize censorship. And I dislike it. Yeah, it's just about regulating. It's not about regulating. Like, you can't fucking ban it, man. You can't ban it. Like, even before computers, there were magazines. Before the magazines, there were erotic novels. Like, this thing has always existed in humanity, and it will always freaking exist. The demand is just too high. Like look at what's driving the Twitch industry right now. There is an army of simps. You can't get rid of that. It's too profitable. Lack of self-control has led you to acquiring by mullah. Why, thank you, Blade. Thank you. I appreciate that. Japan had octopus paintings. Yes. Dude, look at the Romans. Like, the Romans, my fucking god. The Romans had statues of penises that had little penises coming out of the big penis. I can't show it on YouTube, but, like, they had penis with wings. But, like, again, like, just look at Roman penis statues. Like, it's like one, right? Like, imagine the schlong, right? And it's got, like, little schlongs attached to it. Like, the Romans were a little bit bizarre. Even for me. They were a little bit wild for my takes. I'm actually fine with banning pornography because it will make my enemies angry. No one is going to be angry. People will find a workaround. It's kind of like the alcohol prohibition. Like, let me put it this way, okay? Just so you can understand why it can never be banned, and this is my last argument on the matter. There is porn in prisons. Like, in prisons, people smuggle in magazines. And then they pay cigarettes for pages out of those magazines, right? Like, in prisons, which is the most controlled system that our society can possibly imagine. They have cameras everywhere, right? And people still smuggle that shit in. Like, you just can't ban it. There's no freaking way. Anyway, right. Let me go to the article of the day. But before that, I want to show you something interesting. I don't know if I should make a video on my main channel about this. You guys tell me if I should make a video on my main channel. You know what? Fuck it. I'll probably make a video on my main channel because this is just too good. Let me just download the thing first. There we go. And now to find a way to show it to you guys, because this is also important, allegedly. Like, the stream has to see what you're talking about. Okay.
I'm going to show you a video that is probably going to make chicks pregnant. So there's a crazy video of the ATF going to a house, and the ATF is like, hey, you know, you bought some guns, we need to see if you still have them because of straw purchase. A complete violation of your Second Amendment, your Fourth Amendment, and just, you know,
Yeah, like they can't go in a house without a warrant, right? So this is intimidation tactic. The British do it like as well with BBC. So I have heard many people in the UK which have the BBC, usually with a person dressed as a police officer, but they're not actually police, like demanding to come into a person's house to see if they have any way of reaching the broadcasting, right? Because they're not paying their licenses. And it's completely illegal. It's intimidating. I mean, it's not technically illegal. It depends whether or not you let them in. Like, they try to persuade you to let them in, but if you don't let them in, then nothing happens, because they're not allowed to come in, right? So it's the same thing with the ATF. Like, they will come to a person's house and demand to see if they have the weapons, even though they don't have that right without a warrant. Like, you can just say, if you don't have a warrant, you're not getting in. But a person did something interesting.
Basic common sense and humanity. Here's where the ATF agents, they go to one dude's house, and the dude goes, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get it. Hold on a second. Closes the door, calls the cops. He goes, there's somebody out here pretending to be a cop who wants to see my guns. And that's how you get this confrontation right here.
Hey, turn around. Let me see your hands.
So this is actually something that Romanians did a lot back in the KGB days. We didn't have the KGB. We had the Securitate, which was the secret police. So the secret police were dressed in civilian clothing, and they would have the same attitude and the expectations as if they were police officers, right? So what some people did was to call the actual cops on them. And the same hilarity would ensue, to the point where there is a famous Romanian movie where the line is, "Don't shoot, police officer, it's me, Andrew from the KGB." And because like they knew each other so well, because like they constantly were called when Andrew from the KGB would try to investigate someone.
Turn around. Let me see your hands. Okay, let me see your hands. I need to see some ID. Get on the ground. Get on the ground now. Get on the ground.
See, this is what I don't understand about Americans. Like, this really blows my mind as a European. Okay? You got a guy with a fucking gun at you, and he's telling you to get on the... Why the fuck aren't you on the ground yet? Why aren't you on the ground? I mean, after you comply and you do what you're being told, then you settle the disputes. But, like, the guy has a gun, and you're like, oh, what's the big deal? Can anyone explain to me, like, what the fuck is this?
Get on the ground now.
I'm a federal agent.
No.
The fuck does that mean? I'm a federal agent. This is like some X-Files type of shit. Like, I'm Agent Mulder and I'm a federal agent. Like, a federal agent can be like a postal office guy, you know? Like,
171-10-3.
I'm a federal agent.
Get on the ground so I can find out who you are.
It ain't happening.
This is how you get shot.
I got my ID.
Do not reach for your waist. Keep your hands up.
Dude, why would I have an Oleg shit?
Get your hands up.
Now,
Get on the ground.
face down now.
Now.
Face down. You guys are making a big mistake.
You are the one making a mistake.
I mean, you know what I think this is? I'll tell you what I think this is. This is a superiority complex. Like, the guy is so drunk with power because he probably gets to go to people's doors and knock on them and gets into people's houses and plays the big man. You know, like, oh, let me in, I'm a federal agent, goddammit, oh, if you don't let me in. And when he is finally approached by authority, he's doing a hissy fit. He's like, I'm not going to go on the ground, I'm not going to do shit,
And then he finds, see, I get on the ground. I'm a federal agent. If that got you off, have a cigarette. Get ready for round two because it gets way better.
Wait a second.
Do not resist.
I'm not resisting.
You're acting like a moron.
Wait a second.
It's like you're not... See, this is another thing. I see in a lot of videos where the officer says do not resist and the guy's like do not resist it, but you can see that he is applying force. Like, he is trying to get his hand away from the grip.
Wait a second.
Right? Like, look, the police officer was struggling to keep his hands in place. He is fucking resisting. But they're saying, oh, I'm not resisting because they're on camera, right? So, like, if you look at and you don't analyze it or the image is blurry or something like that, it's, oh, well, he's not resisting. The cops are bastards. But, like, He clearly has the arm like this, you know, it's like he is resisting.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Don't do this. Wait a second. I got a medical condition. Get my license out of my pocket. We're getting you.
Well, if you have a medical condition, why the fuck didn't you comply? Like, they would probably not be this aggressive had you just listened to them.
Please, wait. No. Hold on. I'm hyperventilating.
I can't breathe.
I'm not. Stop resisting. Would you please get my ID out of my left pocket? Stop resisting.
They will get your ID out of your left pocket as soon as they cuff you. They're going to immobilize you, and then they're going to look at your ID. It's so fucking obvious. Like, they... Oh, my God.
My wife, please.
My wife's pregnant. Where did that come from?
Sir, please.
Joe, get your taser out. My taser. Get your taser out. Get your taser out, Joe.
No, don't do that. Don't make me. Ow, don't do that. Okay. Get him cuffed.
No, like I just want to say, dude, all of that could have been avoided. I just don't understand why the fuck did they not comply with the officer. And by the way, the guy was white, all right? Because I understand, like, cops are racist and you know, people that are white have white privilege. I guess he may have forgotten his white privilege at home that day. I don't know what else to say. Is this what it's like to be a woman and have guys fight over you? Probably not. But I do like the way you framed it. 300 IQ gun owner. I just... Surely if you're a federal agent, you know how to deal with the cops. Like, surely you are on the other side and you know, like, when someone... you know, is acting suspicious, like, what do you do? Well, you have to immobilize them and then verify their identification. Like, what the fuck does he think? Like, all the cops know the federal agents by face? All of them? I mean, he didn't even have a uniform or anything, right? So, clearly that's why the misunderstanding happened. And it would be very hilarious if the guy, you know, if the gun owner didn't actually know that this is the cop and legitimately believe it's like, well, you know, like, clearly the police knows that they're not allowed to come into my house without a warrant. So, I guess this guy must be faking. You know, maybe he's a criminal, maybe he's a mugger or something. I'm not letting him in. Like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna call the cops. I was just... And this is in Texas, right? Federal agent. What the fuck does that even mean? Federal agent. Let me check on Google. Is that a thing? Federal agent. What is a federal government agent? Someone who represents the interests of a government. So it can be literally anyone. Anyone can represent the interests of the government. A fucking construction worker that does repair on a government building represents the interests of the government. Oh my god, that's just... oh. Still, it's not as funny as in Romania. Like, there have been protests, and during protests you have police that infiltrates the protesters in civilian clothing, right? And usually it's, like, depends what they want to do, but usually it's to agitate, right? So, like, you have a couple of cops that infiltrate the protests, and then they create some incident, and then the media blames the protesters, right? But it has happened on multiple occasions that the actual cops, the ones in uniform, they go in, they grab protesters and start beating them, and then they realize, holy shit, we're beating our boss. Like, that's the lieutenant. Like, it has happened at least 2 or 3 times. It's hilarious when you see it on TV. Like, it's, well, not on TV. They usually don't show it on the news, but they show it on live streams and stuff. And it's like, oh my god, you know, like, stop beating him. That's Lieutenant blah, blah, blah. You know, it's Lieutenant Garcia. It's Lieutenant Garcia from the precinct. Like, stop beating him. It's like... oh my god, it's just... The problem is, it's not the movies. Even if you have 3 guys, the guy on the ground can use as an opportunity to slip out, run away, pull a gun. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of activists which were invited by the police to go through some training. And it was to see how they deal under certain circumstances. Like, do you pull the gun or you don't pull the gun? And all of this can happen in a fraction of a second. Like, a guy can just, like, reach and all of a sudden he pulls the gun and goes bang, bang, bang. So I kind of understand why the American cops, you know, the first thing they want to do is to immobilize people, and then they ask questions. Because like in these situations, like, especially when you have the call, it's like, hey, there's a guy that's pretending to be a cop. I mean, that could be anyone, right? Like, oh, it's intimidating. Like, what if they have a weapon? Yeah, I mean, you need to verify their identity. It's not like they know each other by face. So anyway, let me show you something else that's happening in Romania. Speaking of cops, I left your stream for a second to win a raffle for an AR-15. I'm sorry that I can't partake in your happiness because I never seen an AR-15. I heard that it's very bad though. Like the media tells me it's a full semi-automatic weapon. It's very lethal. It's more lethal than a cell phone, by the way. Anyway, right. So moving back, the cops in Romania are getting sued. And they're complaining, right? Because apparently, during the pandemic, they had to give fines. And now the people who got fines are suing the cops, but as some activists told them, they're not suing the police institution, they're suing the cop personally. And now cops are having to pay from their salary for the fines that they have issued. And the cops don't like it, and they're now blaming the mainstream media for driving the public in a frenzy. They're blaming the politicians. Like, motherfucker, why did you do it? Why did you do it? Like, I know a lot of cops that realized that the measures were unconstitutional for Romania, right? Like, for example, in a country where the medium wage is around $300, you giving a $2,000 fine because someone didn't have his papers in order is a little bit too much. You know, it's a little bit unconstitutional. And honestly, if I was a police officer, I would not fucking do it. I would not fucking do it. I don't care the circumstance. I would have given the guy a warning. Like, you're allowed to give a warning. You don't have to give the maximum amount of fine. But what the cops did, right? They even like in certain precincts in Romania, they had a competition to see who gets the most fines. Isn't that fucked up, chat? Isn't that beyond fucked up? So you have police officers that are competing like a Hall of Fame to see who collects more fines that day. And now you want me to care that they're getting sued? I mean, they need to set an example for the public, right? If they can't follow the law, how can the public follow the law? So now they're complaining about the politicians. By the way, don't get me wrong, like the politicians should also face the courts. They have immunity though in Romania, so it's a lot more difficult. But like, this officer went and found the two people at a bar at 10 p.m. and 1 minute, after which there was the curfew. So they find the bar, and now the bartender is suing the cops, and now they have to pay from their salary. Who gives a fuck? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? You could have given a warning. You could have literally given a warning. You could have shown some empathy. Don't you think like those bars that were being closed also staffed people that had jobs, and now they had to fire staff and stuff? Like, you know, you don't care about them. Okay, well, why do you think people are going to care about you now? And again, like some police officers were like that. In fact, most police officers, at least the ones in my city, they just gave you warnings. They didn't give fines. They didn't like, because they understood it's just mental what the government wanted to accomplish. $2,000 fine in a country where people are making $300 a month. That is just so fucked up. So yeah, calling UK cops on a UK Fed is probably death for the UK cops. They don't have guns to defend themselves. Yeah, like UK is one of the only countries that doesn't have armed police officers. Like from what I understand in UK, if there is a crime, so the officers on the scene have to call another officer that comes with a gun. But I do appreciate it at least. You know, hey, if you disarm the population, might as well disarm the cops. Why the fuck not? Of course I'm angry, dude. Like, I know all elderly ladies that got a $2,000 fine. There is a person in Romania that killed themselves. He got $4,000 fines. Like, every time you left the house, just so you can understand, like, in Romania, it wasn't with QR codes, because Romanians don't really understand the internet that well. There's a lot of elderly people that just flat out refuse. They don't trust the internet. So anyway, right, you had to write a paper every single time you left the house for one of the reasons approved by the government, like, for example, taking the trash, doing essential shopping, taking care of a family member, right? So you had to write on a piece of paper, my name is, at the address, my social security number is, I leave the house for the following reason. Like, you had to frame it in an exact way so you don't get the fine. Like, it had to be written exactly, and you had to mention the hour at which you leave the house, and you had to mention the duration for the departure, and you also had to supplement it with your ID card. So you literally had your documents on you whenever you left your house, and you had to show them to the cops. And if anything wasn't in order, like you forgot to put the signature, you didn't put the date properly, you have a middle name that you didn't cross out, $2,000 fine. Okay, like, honestly. You want me to feel bad? No, I do not feel bad. Nancy, I just like to stalk Pelosi. Just confirmed she will visit Taiwan. But even so, it's like, what was with this pussyfooting? Either you visit it or you don't. But it's like, oh, well, I'm going to visit it, but who knows? Maybe I won't. And if I do, maybe it's going to be in an unofficial capacity. You know, I'll tell you something. If it's an unofficial capacity, then she should pay for the plane ticket, shouldn't she? Do you think she will? Do you think she will pay for the plane ticket if it's an unofficial capacity? It's unofficial. I mean, it's like going on holiday. I guess, you know, well, might as well. Like, if she had... And by the way, if Nancy's visiting in an unofficial capacity, why are the naval carriers from the United States moving closer to Taiwan? God. You know, I just want to put it out there that both World War I and World War II happened when the Democrats were in power. I just need to... I just need to mention that. All right, let's go to the funny article now. Oh, by the way, a glimpse for tomorrow. This is what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Do you know who this is? This is Superbad, motherfucker. Do you know who he is going to face in the latest comic book? He's going to face the worst enemy imaginable, chat. He's going to face against someone worse than Doomsday. He's going to face against someone far worse than Lex Luthor. Super Soy is going to face against online trolls. I'm not kidding. Like, Superman has now become the VTuber of comic books. Like, he's a sock puppet. He's a Muppet. Where the people writing the comics who have infiltrated the industry are using him as a VTuber to lecture the public about whatever the fuck they care about. Superbad fighting online trolls. Oh my fucking god. Yes. He's going to put an end to cyberbullying. Oh. It's just... Why though? Like, you know, you'd think he has more important shit to deal with. But anyway, right. Let's look at the article, because I'm a little bit tired, chat. I'm just... Faith in humanity is being drained from me. Okay. Yeah, do you think, like, Superman versus the Kiwi farms? That's what we're going to see in the next episode, right? Who's going to win? Is it going to be Josh Moon or is it going to be Superman? Superman versus the Chan. He knocks at a door and there's like an elderly booth, which is cocked. It's like, I already sold it. I sold it to someone else. Leave me alone. No, Superman, do not do this. It would be an interesting story though. Like, Lois Lane takes some pictures of her titties and then they end up on Kiwi farms and Superman goes to handle business. Holy shit! How would you write that, chat? How exactly would you approach that? So again, you know, like you have a story where Lois Lane sends Clark Kent a picture of her titties, but she loses the phone, and someone finds it and uploads the pictures on Kiwi Farms, and now Superman is angry, so Superman goes against Josh Wood. I don't know if it's Superman's son. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's a VTuber. Superman versus the monkeypox. Oh god. Superman versus the Canadian truckers. Oh yes, that would also be a really good story. Like Superman seizing the bank accounts of those pesky truckers. You'd read that comic. See, I would actually make good fucking comic books, chat. I would actually make good comic books. But like even then it would be a really interesting moral dilemma, right? Because like let's assume that this is the situation. Like Lois Lane shows her titties, they end up on the farms, and now Superman is upset, right? But like what exactly can he do? Because legally he can't do anything, right? So if he does something, he breaks the law. But would it be justifiable? And if he breaks the law, you know, in order to protect Lois Lane, like what else is he allowed to break the law on? Like that would cause a very interesting precedent where Superman, because I don't think like Superman ever broke the law. Lex Luthor misgendered Jimmy Olsen. No, that's not as interesting as what I'm saying. Superman blames no. Doomsday assault. Women and minorities most affected. Superman follows laws. Technically, yes. I mean, let me actually think if he ever... I don't even know if it's considered vigilanteism what he is doing, because it's an interesting conundrum. I mean, yeah, it is vigilanteism, but for some reason, like, no one wants to stop him. Like, they want to stop Batman for doing vigilanteism, but for some reason, like, they don't go after Superman. But yeah, like, usually Superman doesn't go out of his way in order to, you know, like... In Injustice, he went to Pakistan, and he got Israel and Pakistan to sign a peace agreement. And that was being viewed as him being evil, right? Because he is now forcing people to do stuff. The President Luthor arc, yeah, like that's correct. Like, during the President Luthor arc, he did break laws. That good point. Good point. The skies aren't free for people to fly around. Actually, like, if you were to have a jetpack and you flew around, it depends where you're flying. Like, if you're flying close to airports and stuff, you might get in trouble. It's like flying a drone, right? So it depends on the legislation of your country. Here you can fly a drone close to, you can fly a drone kind of like wherever you want, but not next to an airport, and you're not allowed to fly it over someone else's property. So yeah, like Superman, for example, would probably get in trouble if he hovers over someone's lawn. I mean, it would probably be also fucking creepy, right? Like, imagine you're having sex with your wife and you're looking out the window and you see Superman watching, you know? And even if he isn't watching, like, let's just say he's looking at some other direction, but the fact that he's out of your window is spooky as shit. Ultralight aircraft are allowed. That Superman can... He probably isn't able to fly over military bases. That's for sure. Superman is part of the LGBT community, and his boyfriend is trans Latinx. Cois Luis Lano. Get the fuck out. Is that what they're going with? There is no fucking way they called him Luis Lano. I know, like, the son of Superman is actually gay. And he has a boyfriend, but I don't think they call him Luis Lano. Like, if they did, like, oh my fucking god. Like, do these people not have any more creativity? Like, do they have no imagination? They can't even come up with an original name? Like, what the fuck? They probably didn't, though, right? Because it's too hilarious to be true. Anyway, right. So, woman who is fed up with her gropey husband. Why the fuck is this national news? Like, this is what I want to know, right? Like, this is what boggles my fucking brain. Why is this a matter of public concern? So anyway, right? She's got a gropey husband pestering her for sex. Do you know how many women are upset that the husband don't touch them anymore? Like, after several years of marriage, the husband gets bored and doesn't want as much sex, and the woman is the one that's complaining. But apparently he wants too much. And of course, like, the internet has divided opinion, as some claims he's abusing her and urge her to leave, while others insist he'd be entitled to look elsewhere. This is why we need Jesus, chat. Like, this is why you need Jesus. Jesus meant that you have a vow. Like, you swear a vow in front of Jesus, right? Like, no one forces you. There's no gun in top of your head. You're just making a vow that you're going to be together until death does you apart. Meaning that you have to work through this shit, right? Like, the moment you end up with a hurdle, you have to find a solution. You can't just choose the easy way out, right? Usually when you choose the easy way out, the kids suffer. But anyway, right? Maybe this is why, like, a lot of leftists who have their family divorced, like, they want it upon others. Because, like, well, I didn't have a mommy and daddy when I grew up, so neither should you. Get the divorce papers. But, yeah, like, they should be, like, grown adults and find a solution. Now, obviously, if you're going to behave like that, like, let's assume the roles are reversed, right? Like, let's assume the woman really wants sex and the husband isn't willing to provide. Of course she's going to go and cheat. I mean, it's like, duh. Right? It's derp. Would it be shocking? Would you be Pikachu face? No. So why would she be Pikachu facing her out? Now, obviously, I'm not encouraging cheating, but what I'm saying is, like, you need to find the solution for the problem. That is a problem, right? Like, she needs to be understanding and find out compromise. Now, let's see how often it happens, because if it happens like 100 times a day, then yeah, maybe, you know, like, the husband is the one with the problem. So let's see how... A woman has sparked fierce debate after complaining about her husband groping her and nagging her for sex. Oh my god. I do well. Underscore. Taking to British parenting, the woman explains that she's been turned off her horny teenager husband, who she forces herself to have sex with once a week. Oh, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. You're telling me that this once a week is too much? She said that he wants more and is constantly mouthing dirty comments at her, smacks her bottom if she bends over, and puts his hand down between her legs if she puts her face up. You know, there are women that do this to their husbands as well. Like, I don't know why people think women are devoid of sexuality, but, like, immediately people are going to try to make this about, like, gender as a whole. And be like, oh my god, the men, they're so sexist pigs. But again, like, there are situations after marriage where the man just doesn't feel like it, and the woman gets handsy and gropey. But I don't see a debate happening at the national scale in the papers. I don't see, like, people in the papers going like, oh my god, it's like, oh, can you believe it? Like, you know, she should leave him. Ugh. The question is, like, how did it come to this? Like, surely they must have dated before the marriage. Surely they must have realized what their needs are, right? And if they're not compatible, I mean, there are men that are willing to have sex once a month. More elderly gentlemen, I'm pretty sure, but, like, there are those. I'm basically sick of my husband groping me and nagging me for sex. We have sex maybe once a week, and even then I have to force myself. He says that twice a week is the norm for most married couples. I disagree. No, well, okay, it depends on the age, right? So when the couple is younger, I mean, if you have two guys, you have two people marrying at 18, they're probably going to have sex like 2 or 3 times a day. When they get more advanced in age, like at 40, 50 years old, obviously they're going to have less. If I bend over, he slaps my ass. Oh my god, like, I can't imagine. Chat, can you imagine? Like, can you imagine that? Do I have any women in the chat? Hold on, I need to hear from the ladies on this one. Ladies, if you're in the chat, press 1. I need to hear from your lived experiences. I hope I don't have femcells though, because I need the actual Stacy's. Huh? Isn't that how it's pronounced? Stacy. Oh, I got the potting. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm going to bother her with questions now. All right. What do you think about bending over and then your boyfriend or your husband slaps your ass? Can you imagine that? Happiness? Would it provide happiness if that were to happen? Like, but can you even fathom? I mean, that is peak misogyny, in my opinion. Like, I just don't that. So like, she bends over and the husband just. Oh my God. Can you imagine that? Holy shit. That is no, like, they should call the cops. Do you want a divorce? Because this is a good way to get a divorce. Not saying you need to be on a home, but once a week is low. Yeah, no, it's not necessarily like a divorce, but it's definitely how he's going to end up cheating on her. Let's just say we banter at home. Oh, I'm a fan of the spank, right? Like, I thought that's, well, apparently not. Oh my God. Why the fuck are they airing their laundry in public? Like, this is a Romanian saying, don't air your private laundry in public. Huh? Isn't that a thing? Apparently it's not a thing anymore. One way to prove that chat is a sausage fest. No, it's not. I have happiness. Happiness is in the chat. Allegedly, she's a woman. I can't verify. So if I bend over, he has to slap my ass. It wasn't an issue at the start of our relationship, but now it just irritates me. Especially when he does it around DS. What the fuck is DS, chat? Around DS. Is that like menstrual? No. It doesn't. What the fuck does DS mean? If I go into the kitchen to do the dishes, he'll follow me. And want a full-on snogfest. Holy shit, is she married to a clone of myself? What the fuck? If I'm going for a shower, he'll make a crude comment. Oh, God. See, now she's describing me, and I feel a little bit. Yeah, is she talking about the ESP? If we're set as family in the living room watching kids shows, he'll mouth a dirty comment to me. It doesn't turn me on. It annoys me. I can't pull feet up to him on the sofa without him thinking I'm initiating sex. And try to... I was really honest with him last night and told him that the more full-on he is, the less I want it. Alright, well... You know what? This lady is going to have a crude awakening realizing that most men are like this. Like, over 90% of the men, most likely, are going to be like this. So like, all the people going like, oh, you should leave him. You should leave. If you leave him, you'll probably find someone else that does the same thing. Like, what you don't like isn't your man. What you don't like is men, how they behave. Like, that's your problem. I don't know the solution for this lady. I genuinely don't know. But you're going to encounter this in the future, is all I'm saying. No one should leave anyone. They should work through it. They should find a solution. I don't know what to say. Buy him a sex doll. I don't fucking know. But, like, your problem is with men, because all men are like this. Unless you find someone that's elderly or, you know, someone that has, like, a plumbing problem. But no, like, apparently she did notice the behavior before marriage, but, like, she was fine with it. Like, it didn't upset her at the time. I'll tell you something else that can happen. And I actually had a lot of women at the hostel with this problem, and it's something that's not very discussed in the press. But usually women who are on the pill, they have their hormones messed up, right? Because that's literally what the pill does. It messes up with your hormones. And when they stop being on the pill, like, their hormones go back to normal. And the problem is, like, hormones really dictate your behavior. So, like, think about when you're full with adrenaline, right? Like, when you have an adrenaline rush, like, let's say something bad happens. Like, you hear a loud explosion or something, and your heart is racing. Not only do you get more strength within those couple of seconds, and you feel less pain, but, like, time slows down. This is why, like, soldiers would describe how a combat situation, which lasted for 10 seconds, for them it felt like minutes, right? Because that's what hormones do to your body. And it's the same with sexual hormones and stuff. So, like, maybe while on the pill, she liked him, but when she wasn't on the pill anymore, like, she changed her mind. So that's a possibility. I don't know. She is probably cheating. You know, I didn't think about that. Explaining her predicament, the woman wrote, I'm basically sick of my husband groping me. If I bend over, he has to stop, blah, 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 blah. That is gross. And I say a massive turnoff. Is he aware of the fact that it's not the 1920s and women are not the property of their husbands? Okay, I understand this argument, but let me put it this way. If he goes cheating, and he says, you know what, I'm not your property, lady, who do you think Coffee Addict is going to side with? She probably married him for stability, not attraction. She will likely monkey branch away. I love the fact that there is an English expression for this, like monkey branch. Like she monkey branches away. I don't fucking know, chat. I don't know why it is, but apparently they have children. It's a bad thing if they divorce. Have you suggested he sees his GP? Also, the general practice, like, the man having a healthy sex life is pathological now, according to Benjir Sports 4. He sounds absolutely revolting. Why do you stay with him? Because apparently she has kids. My fucking god, like, it seems that leftists, they only know 2 letters. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. He is sexually harassing you. He has no right to anything from you. Like, again, if you want to consider, you know, fine. Let's consider the act of the husband groping the woman as sexual harassment. You're going to get a lot of women in prison, man. You're going to get a lot of women in prison. Like, I know so many other guys who have been groped by their girlfriends when they didn't feel like it. Right? So you have the situation after you're married and you lived with her for a couple of years. Like you don't have the same libido as before, and sometimes she feels like it, right? So she gropes you, or she does something like, or she hugs you and kisses you and you don't feel like it. Like, if you want to consider that as sexual harassment, you're going to get a lot of women in prison. Men as well. But you're going to overflow the prisons, I guarantee to you. If you think that this type of behavior is sexual assault, you have an argument. Like, I get it. You know, like that is the argument that, yeah, like it's groping without consent and blah, blah, blah. Sure. But if that's the standard, there's a lot of women who do like being very gropey. Yeah, you see other men saying, and do dirty talking and whatnot with their partners. It's nothing to do with property or being pervy. It's how people show affection. Your normal is not necessarily someone else's normal. Oh my fucking god. I wish I knew who wrote this because it's absolutely spot on. Do you find your husband attractive? Because it seems you don't. Me and my husband are very gropey and touchy-feely. I love the fact that women are the ones that are basically siding with the man and the men are siding with the woman. It's so fucking interesting. Twice a month isn't much. I'd be really upset if that was all I got and I'm in my 60s. I really think that if you don't want sex with your husband all the time, he would be forgiven for looking elsewhere. Could you initiate sex twice a week on the basis he didn't grope you? Probably not. I don't think he's asking for sex twice a week is excessive, though. He clearly finds you attractive. Yeah, like, this is another thing, you know? There are so many women that are literally upset because their husband don't find them attractive anymore. And it happens, you know? Like, you marry a woman, then she gains weight. Like, boom. And she may even have cellulitis. But they're getting upset, right? Because like, oh my god, my husband doesn't like me anymore. And I can understand them, where they're coming from. Right? But this lady, she doesn't have to deal with that, but she's upset. Like, oh my god. It's kind of like the breast paradox. Are you guys aware of the breast paradox? I'll tell you the breast paradox. So, women that have flat chest, you know, like flat is injustice, they're going to look around and they're going to see that other women have big boobs and they get more attention, and they're going to be like, oh my god, if only I had big boobs. Like, if only I had big boobs. I wish I had big boobs. And then you have the women with big boobs, like Uzaki-chan. And they have back pains. They got, you know, various lumps in the boobie that they're aware, that they're afraid, that they're like, oh, please let this be the hopefully benign tumor, you know? And they want to have small boobs. People are never happy. Because you don't know, like, the negative aspects of being on the other side. I'm willing to bet if this lady had a husband that wasn't interested in her, she would complain. Because she doesn't know how bad it is. Superman flies at the speed of light to go back in time before her revenge porn was uploaded to the internet. Oh my god. Oh, holy shit. Yeah, that's what I would do. So again, for those of you who joined recently, I was pitching an idea for a Superman comic. Okay? Lois Lane shows her boobies to Clark Kent. And then she forgets her phone, and someone takes it, like someone else finds the phone, and uploads her pictures on Kiwi Farm. So now it's Superman versus Josh Boone. And like, how is he going to handle the situation? And the correct way is Superman spins around the Earth faster than the speed of light, turns back time, and then goes and prevents the upload from ever happening. That's how we fix it. Holy shit, chat. Oh my, that would be such a great story. Oh god. Because now Superman is fighting against online bullying, right? Like, this is the new story that's coming. Very rich, diverse story. Those pesky online trolls from the Chans. From the hacker known as 4chan. And they're wondering how Ripa's comics sold millions. They're really flabbergasted by this. They just don't understand. It's like, why this is it? You know, like, we have a serious conversation here about online bullying, and yet people want to buy this black creators. Like, I thought that comic book readers were racist. He asked Superboy Prime to retcon the news. Yeah, you know, this would actually be an interesting story if they had a good moral. And I'll tell you a good moral, by the way. Why do women have to upload naked pictures of themselves on the internet? Right? Because it's a security risk, right? It's a vulnerability. I get it, like, people, you know, revenge porn is bad and all of that, but like, once it happens, your picture is out there forever, right? Sure, the guy can go to prison. Sure, you can give him a fine. But you're never going to hide that picture again. Like, it's out there. Why do you do it? Your grandmother didn't fucking do it. Your mother didn't do it. Like, they could have lives without their pictures appearing on the internet. Why do you need to do it? And like, the way that these pictures are made public, like, first of all, she can lose her phone. And now someone else finds it, boom, has access to the picture. Like, the boyfriend, right? They can have an argument. The boyfriend can publish them. But let's assume that the boyfriend doesn't publish them. Like, we're not talking about, like, revenge. Let's say that the boyfriend has it on his phone and then sells the phone, which is something that happens a lot in Eastern Europe. Like, if you have an old phone, you sell it on eBay, right? And let's say that the boyfriend forgets to erase it, like, he doesn't care about the data, and he just, you know, like, here's my phone. The other guy gets it, and then looks at the pictures, finds the pictures, uploads them on the internet. Like, why? Why do you need to do it is what I don't understand. Like, I had women soliciting dick pics from me. You know, like, when you're 30 years old, you're a content creator, you have 100,000 of subscribers, eventually it will happen. Like, trust me. Darkside Phil manages to have ladies around him, alright? Like, if Darkside Phil has it, everyone gets it. So you have women soliciting dick pics. I knew that if I were to send a dick pic, it will come back to haunt me. Like, I genuinely, why the fuck would I do it? There's absolutely no reason to do it. But apparently, if you even talk about prevention, that's bad. You know, like, talking about prevention is victim blaming. The only way you can talk about prevention is if there's COVID. Like, if there's COVID, then you can talk about prevention. But other than that, don't talk about prevention because it's victim blaming. Oh, God. I think those are women soliciting. I don't know who the fuck was soliciting, but they didn't never get any pictures of me. I literally don't have any indecent pictures of myself anywhere. Dankula is the only man who got away with it. Dankula never showed his penis. He only showed the testicles. And there's no way of identifying that the testicles are attached to him. Like, Dankula could have literally just showed any testicles whatsoever, and he can claim those are his, and there was no way for you to tell. You don't believe the dark side Phil thing? What the fuck you don't believe? Didn't he have like 3 girlfriends by now and a wife? I stopped following his like private life. I'm not into gossiping, celebrity gossip. But dark side Phil, from what I understand, like he doesn't have a problem in fighting women. And the guy stays at home all the time and is covered in debt. Like that's the thing. When you're famous, and by famous I don't necessarily mean like a rock star or anything. But you just have to put yourself out there. And if you have, like, you don't have to be a YouTuber. Like, let's say you're an artist, right? Like, you're drawing comics or shit. And you have an audience. You got, like, 10,000 people. You're going to have women eventually approach you. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but it happens. You know, like, I'm not saying a lot of them. But you might have, like, 2 or 3 a year that just initiate a conversation with you on the internet. He pays for them? Like what? He paid for a wife? Superman was based, but he will never be that based, yeah. Fit pics are allowed? I don't know. It's like, just don't put stuff that you wouldn't like people to see. You know, like, everything, like, take my advice, chat, alright? Especially if you're in the public eye. Like, you don't have to be a public person, but if you're in the public eye. Never talk in private things that you wouldn't like to be made public. Like, even in private, don't say stuff that's too edgy, and then it can be made public. Like, I know so many content creators that got canceled because they said something in private and then the logs were leaked. Okay? So don't do that. Never give pictures of yourself that you wouldn't want the public to see. Same reason. And you're going to have a nice life. And if you're a woman, don't put pictures of yourself on the internet that you won't want people to see. That's it. Like, it's not that fucking hard. It's not that difficult. I generally don't understand why the fuck they do it. Again, like, your grandmother didn't do it, your mother didn't do it. Just don't do it. It's a bad idea. Because again, you know, like, oh, well, there's, you know, we got revenge porn laws and stuff. Like, yeah, sure. No, I agree. But, like, he goes to prison or, you know, he pays a fine or whatever. But your reputation is going to be forever tarnished. When you're going to get a job, the first thing the HR lady does is she Googles your name and she's going to see the boobies popping up. You know, like, do you want that? Do you want that? Do you want the university kids to know in great detail where your birthmark is? No? Then don't do it. That includes all cloud services or photo hosting services. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even know. Because, like, the thing is, like, it's like crossing the street. You know? Like, when you cross the street, you look for cars, don't you? You do look for cars. Because the thing is, let's assume you don't look for cars and you're like, God damn it, I'm on the street walk. It's my right to cross. Nothing's gonna happen. And you cross like a boss. You know, you go like, Okay, if a car hits you, what happens? Well, you go to the hospital and they go to prison. But you're still in the fucking hospital. Does that satisfy you? No. Then why the fuck didn't you look for cars? Simple. Long time no see. Oh, hey, Brainwash. I missed you. Do you know who I realized I miss? And she hasn't come to my channel in a long while. I'll have to bother her. Succubus Nariti. Like, Succubus Nariti used to be a regular. I lost my Succubus, chat. I used to have a Succubus, and now I don't have it anymore. She's an artist as well. Might actually use her work. Might commission something. Anyway, right. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. There's another video coming up on my Lack of Entertainment channel. Check it out after the stream. And I hope I entertained you. And I'll see you all in the comment section.